Hi, today is the 3rd of July, 2019, and I'm super frustrated, so I have to make this video because I can't even sit down long enough to write it out. Okay, um, John has been in hospice now for a few weeks. It took a nightmarish amount of effort to get to this point. Um, it's just amazing. From the very beginning, I set out to make sure John had like the best care. I wanted to make sure he was taken care of without exception. And I've just had an uphill battle between the state and Medicaid and his doctors, and it's really a sad situation to even have to discuss out loud like this. The end of May, he hurt his knee and dislocated his kneecap, and we've been waiting since then for either the doctor or hospice or someone to get him a properly fitting compression sleeve for his knee. They had him on from waist or hip to ankle, a straight Velcro immobilizer that was just rubbing his skin raw. Refused to come and check it, refused to remove it, refused to allow me to check it or remove it. So for 30 days, it had been soaked in urine multiple times. I was unable to change it, clean it, because they kept telling me I'm not qualified. But still refused any way for me to get him to anywhere to do anything or send somebody here. I'm just so fed up right now. I called the governor to see what the holdup is because DHS never answers the phone. And then the lady called me back from DHS the following morning at 7:45 in the morning to tell me that if I'm not happy with that office, that I can feel free to visit any office in the state. That's their solution. It's been in the near 90s the last couple of days. Thank God the rain's been keeping it a little cooler in the evenings. But we've no air. My air conditioner broke. No one gives donations to fix any of that. Can't find a donation to even get a little room air conditioner for his window. It's just, I can't even believe they've for the last 10 years he's been denied food stamps. I don't know how that is. His worker, tells me she's overwhelmed with so many clients. She never gets back to you. It's just been one nightmarish situation after another. I mean, literally, even including one time an ambulance came to take him, John, to the hospital, and as they left, the back doors of the ambulance opened up, like the Three Stooges or some damn thing. And all of us, the neighbors, everybody, because they see an ambulance come, they're all out there. They all yell, "Hey, hey!" They pull over, and shut the doors like, "Oh yeah, he's okay." The unprofessional behavior of the universal ambulance staff, appalling. Even the Roseville fire has been really lacking. The treatment from the city, I mean, literally this last time about fighting over the water bill, uh, you know, if I say, I have a hospice patient here, please don't turn our water off, and somebody tells me, show us proof, that I'm like, whoa, okay. Or, gosh, I mean, there's just so many things, I can't even believe it. Like yesterday, someone from the construction site across behind me came down our street and took out our street sign. So, because I use the ambulance frequently, I want that sign to be visible and upright. So I called the city and I said, hey, can you have somebody come and do whatever? These guys just ran it over. And they go, oh yeah, we'll have somebody, out there right away. He's on his way. Never even asked me what street. I'm just like, nobody wants to do their job. Like, here's another example. The primary care doctor is supposed to be taking care of the knee thing because it's not hospice related. He keeps calling hospice The hospice keeps calling them. They keep fighting back and forth. Meantime, I have to call the office manager. The doctor calls me back and says, "How dare you go behind my back and betray me?" Not, and that's the first thing out of his mouth, instead of, "I'm really sorry. What can I do for John?" No. It was very poorly handled on his half. And then it continued, and they're asking me, "Who do we need to contact to order this? Do you need a script? What does the script need to say? Uh, the hospital supply, do you have the hospital supply phone number?" They're asking me questions they should have the answers to. This isn't my job. My job is to be the caregiver for John, and I'm doing as much as I can to make sure that this guy is safe and well cared for and given everything he is entitled to in his dying days. Nobody gives a shit. That is my conclusion here, my final conclusion. Just as a whole, no one cares. No matter how hard I fight, no matter how many phone calls I make, no matter how hard I fight for others to advocate with me, alongside me for John, no one really gives two shits. No one's putting in effort. For me to have to sit here and had to beg to get him into the hospice, for someone to even call me, to argue with hospice, I called them and they're like, "Why are you calling us? We shouldn't be talking to you at all. We should be talking to the doctor," reprimanding me. Hospice. Okay? This is the comfort place. This is the place you're supposed to go to get comfort. So now I have infighting between the doctor's office and the hospice office. I've involved the governor. I've involved the office manager. I'm about to call the office manager for hospice today. The nurse came and wrapped John's leg in an ace bandage, which is not conducive to proper healing or stability, because he thrashes at night and he moves so much that comes right off him. And again, it happened last night. She wrapped it yesterday afternoon. This morning at 5 o'clock it was off. I'm very frustrated. It started out as me fighting tooth and nail for John to get the proper care, because as a handicapped, mentally impaired, autistic person with a brain tumor who's blind in one eye and deaf in one ear, losing sight in his only good eye, and has this brain tumor, he's being treated absolutely horribly. So in this journey, I have seen such blatant disregard, so many people just not wanting to do their job, or doing the job of taking as much from you as possible, giving you the minimum, never wanting to go anywhere above that line of base. And I find it appalling and disgusting. And I am so flabbergasted with this situation. He's had to endure such great suffering his entire life. You gotta remember, this guy was autistic through the 60s and 70s when nobody knew what autism was. They just called him a frickin' retard. His own family didn't know how to handle him, so they sat him at the table and fed him till he weighed 600 pounds at 17 years old. I mean, it's just been a nightmare experience for this poor guy. And I'm trying, as his caregiver and a cousin, to give him dignity in his dying moments. And I'm finding walls and mountains and just this mind-boggling, heartbreaking, I can't even formulate the different amount of emotion and anger and frustration that I have been dealing with in this. It's just amazing. People should be ashamed. People with these jobs should be ashamed. The hospice nurses, the nurses, the doctors, the physicians, just to get the neurosurgeon to communicate a time frame of about longevity. Couldn't do it. I had to force him to speak with the primary care doctor to get him to spit out the fact that he had about 3 months. If he didn't act, now before he went on vacation, to debulk and leave John existing, not living. And that, again, it's all about, well, I'm going to make some money. I'm going to make money. I'll do the surgery. I'll make the money. Quality of life be damned. I just, the disregard for medications, proper care, just human compassion. The inability to find a single, after 47, I'll show you a list later, 47 charity organizations, churches, all those kinds of places. No one can help us. No one can help us with my car repairs, to help, to get his medicine, to get his food, to get anything. Nobody can help me with that. To get him an air conditioner for his window. Nobody can help. Nobody wants to help. His social worker, to get him food stamps. They're not interested. Did you go online? Did you fill out the forms? Did you do this? Did you do that? It just makes me insane. I can't even get any cooperation from the people who you go to for help. The people who you expect a kind voice on the other end of the phone or off the other side of that piece of glass. You get nothing. You get nothing. And you're left feeling defeated and abused and neglected. And I throw my hands up and I'm like, where do you go? Once you call the governor and the governor can't do nothing, what do you do? You can't rely on the kindness of strangers or your community, let's even say, because the city here has not been helpful. Threatening to cut the water off. Show us proof he's in hospice. When my son passed away, there was a situation and I needed to talk to somebody there, and I told the officer, I said, look, my son just passed away. Could I get a little compassion? And he said to me, oh, he died from heroin with a needle in his arm. How much compassion do you think you deserve? This was a police officer at my local department. Okay? It's across the board. Nobody cares about anybody else. And at this point, I don't have the energy anymore. I've been doing this since the 90s. Fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. And I'm seeing very clearly that I've been doing all this fighting. I'm getting nowhere. I'm spinning in one place, spinning my wheels. I don't know. I don't know what else to do. I don't know who else to call. Can't call the president because he's garbage. I guess I really, I'm so depressed. I'm just bewildered that I feel like the only person in the world that has a human heart in their body. Because every single solitary person that I have gone to, that you're taught and told to go to for assistance, has done zero for a dying man. Not just a dying man who's struggled his entire life against his adversity because of his impairments, which I also find reprehensible. Between the school department, somebody took money from him and gave him a driver's license. Okay, somebody took money from him and sent him to college. Someone took advantage. I mean, over and over, taken advantage of him, over and over and over and over, and got away with it. So, I'm going to post this because I'm just pissed. I'm just pissed. So, thank you for maybe listening.